Welcome back, everybody. Let me get that chat set up here. John Aravosis here in Chicago. Oop, let me adjust. You know how I am with this thing. All right, good enough. And the lighting's decent enough. As I said, I'm using my cheaper lighting over here, so I never quite know if I'm an orange glow. In honor of everyone's favorite candidate, I will have an orange glow today. There we go. So I'm not going to wear this. I only wear that when I do the Trump impressions. All right, let's go. See, Trump messes my hair. Let's go live on TikTok, and then we are ready. Привет, русский, русский американский друг. All right, here comes the TikTok brigade. 1 second on my iPad. Boom, boom, boom. It's kind of fallen sideways. Not sure why, but we'll survive. All right. Oh, everybody, isn't it close up? Am I normally further back? I did pull the camera a little bit closer. I wasn't sure. Anyway, hey, TikTokers. Hey, YouTubers. Welcome, everybody. Oh, gifts already. Thank you, Succeed. Appreciate that. And John S. Oh, boy. How are we all doing? Happy Friday. And a busy day, but a decent day. Hey, everyone. Hola. Hey, Super Hornet. Thank you for the gift. I never do see that heart thing. When I look through the gifts, I never see the heart thing. But anyway, so thank you for that. Family Lavery for the rose. Hey, Kay. Luis in Grand Rapids. Luis Ruiz. That's a great name. Hey, cool. Hey, John. I am good. Thank you. Thank you, Family Lavery. McFadge with the rose. Thank you, guys. So yeah, we've got. It's not actually. It's funny. I don't think it's a huge news day, but there's news, so we'll talk about it. Thank you, Jorge, for the gift. Hey, Pedro. But yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll start as always with the election news, and then we'll move over to Ukraine. There's not a ton of news on either front, really. I mean, the Democratic convention ended last night. Oh, thank you, Ruin Valen. The lucky spray. I've not seen that before. That's very funny on TikTok. Thank you for that. Alec just got glasses. Congratulations, I guess. When I was a kid, I wasn't happy when I got glasses. Think Adventures. Now you've got the. I don't even think I've got those horrible pictures around. I've got all the family photos that we've been going through, and I don't think I've even got them here. The ones with glasses, like when we were kids, they were those little, like the glasses the astronauts wore. You see, with the little brown ones. There were almost no other glasses you could buy in the late 1960s. Thank you, Alan, for the gift. Chezek Adventures. It's kind of funny. Yeah, people know what I mean. The people who lived in the late 60s know what I mean. Those sort of brown glasses we all had that weren't very big. And they literally, you looked like an engineer, maybe an astronaut. Everybody had them. Anyway, now you're very lucky because now there's so many cool glasses you can get. Hey, user 829. Hey, running. Jeremy for the gift. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the gifts. So I'm going to get rolling. So I am John Aravosis. This is my show. I do Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time, U.S. I'm in Chicago, so it's actually 5 o'clock here. We talk about the latest news from Ukraine. We talk about the latest election news. Thank you, Max Trex. I typically live in Washington. I'm from here, Chicago. I typically live in Washington, D.C., or I should say I actually live in Washington. I'm not typical. I live in Washington, D.C., but I'm home for a while. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Max. What else to tell you? So my background is U.S. politics. I've worked in Washington for really going on almost 40 years now, 35 years full-time. Only a 2-year stint in New York City, but we don't talk about that. We talk about that at the end of the show, maybe. I love New York. I hated my job. Thank you, Charles. But I started the show as an effort to basically explain the Ukraine war to people, and now we've expanded it to the election because my background is politics and my background is foreign policy. So I'm not just one of those people who is suddenly an expert. I did study international relations at Georgetown. I have a law degree from Georgetown, and I've worked in U.S. politics for literally 35 years. So anyway, that's why I'm here. That's my who am I, why am I here speech. Please feel comfortable giving gifts because I do this full time. And it is very helpful. Your guys' gifts pay my bills, the rent and everything else. So please keep them coming. Keep the subscriptions coming. I did notice, what we've got, which is kind of funny, which is great though. Thank you, Martin. A lot of the subscribers we've got are the gift subscribers. So every day the count goes down again. So I keep looking and going, we almost made 500 and now we're down to 440 again. And I'm like, no. So please do consider subscribing as well. Thank you, Taurus and Hannah and Martin. I always feel like Romper Room. And Sandria, Charles, Elizabeth, Jeremy. I hope I've got the Max Tracks, Jeremy. I think I got the rest of you now. Who's this? Bryce. Thank you guys. Marie. But yeah, so if you're comfortable and can afford it, consider getting a subscription. It basically is a monthly payment of $6.99 to me. TikTok and YouTube get their pound of flesh out of it first, but it's very beneficial because it helps me out having sort of a more steady stream of income. So if you can afford it, please do. Or you could be like Marion over on YouTube, who just gave me a very generous gift. That works too. So thank you, Marion. That covers several months of donation right there. So thank you. Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Family Lavery. Who do I prefer as president? Well, Kamala Harris. I mean, I really don't think there's much of a choice. As several Republicans said during the conventions, I don't think there's much of a choice here, for our democracy's sake. But let's get into that. So tomorrow morning, for the paid, speaking of subscriptions, for the paid subscribers on TikTok, the folks who have SNN next to your name, some of you may have it, by the way, because you got it as a gift from somebody else for a month. For those of you on YouTube, any of you guys who are green named people who are the monthly supporters, I do a Saturday morning show that is just for the paid subscribers as a thank you. We hang out, we talk. Vlad, my Ukrainian friend Vlad, often joins us, not always, but it's a chance for us just to hang out and talk more personally, because I don't prepare like today. I've got notes of things to talk about. I don't give any speeches on Saturday. I don't read the news. It is a much more intimate chance for us to all talk together. So anyway, hello, Otanbat in Norway. All right, so, and thank you, Cool, for the gift. So let's get rolling. Kamala Harris spoke last night. I watched it. It was really good. I'm not going to sort of go through her whole speech, but clearly her campaign keeps using the, actually, oh, shoot. Thank you, Zerpachi. I did move the time to half an hour later tomorrow. So it's for the coffee talk. Sorry. It is 10:30 a.m. Chicago time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, or New York City, Washington, D.C. time. So normally we do 11 a.m. We're doing half an hour later, just because I realized the last couple of days I finally adjusted to Chicago time. And at 10 a.m., I'm still like having my coffee going, don't talk to me. So I don't want to be that person. I mean, I would fake it for you guys, but I'd literally be having a headache going, oh my God, I've got to be nice to these people. Hey! So it'll start at 10:30 Chicago time, 11:30 Eastern time. All right, let's go. So Harris spoke last night. She was very good. Actually, she was very good. It's kind of funny. Like, I'm sort of, I think maybe I'm too much of a curmudgeon. So like I look at stuff and be critical. She used her hands too much. There was a lot of this going on. She needs to break that habit, but they always tell you that for TV too, that basically if you use your hands a lot, they tell you for television that it's as if your hands are disconnected. They're like floating. They're like these chopped off hands that somebody's waving, which is funny. Doesn't bother me, but I do it occasionally and then put them down, because for television people, they find it very annoying, the television experts. Thank you, Linda Carlson, for becoming a new subscriber, or maybe resubscribing because your name looks familiar. Thank you, Daniel, for the gift. Randy and Fred. Red hates me. Not me, but somebody else. Red again with the gifts. So thanks, Marie. She spoke last night. She was very good. I think she's had coaching over the last 4 years, which is interesting. Thank you, Denise. She's a much better speaker. To some degree, I felt like her speech was careful in the delivery, just me, for my taste. But I think because she's much more trained now, which is not a bad thing. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Daniel. She talked about basically her campaign. It's an interesting choice of words. They're talking about sort of the word joy. She uses the word joy a lot, and the campaign uses the word joy. I'm agnostic on it just because I'm a guy, and the word joy is, I'm trying not to make any slurs of my own people here. The word joy is kind of feminine to me. It reminds me of Brits when they use the word lovely. And it's, as an American, I use it occasionally with women, but I try not to use the word lovely. Guys don't use it. And don't tell me guys use it. Guys don't use it. And joy, it's just not an American word that guys like. Having said that, it's an interesting choice because she is constantly contrasting herself to Trump and the insurrection, Trump's attempt to violently overthrow the government on January 6, 2021. She's constantly trying to compare sort of, I would say, honestly, I think her campaign is about hope, but that was Bill Clinton's campaign in 1992. So she's trying not to use it. And I almost think it's dumb. I would almost say, why not grab the word hope for all Democrats in the way that Trump keeps doing his Make America Great Again, right? I think her campaign is hope. I would absolutely do hope, so to speak. Joy is just not my word, but whatever. But she's trying to contrast her hopeful campaign with Donald Trump's angry campaign. It's not a bad idea. Trump is angry. Trump is always angry. I mean, there is something in the Republican parties of late that is always very angry. And on the Democratic side, you've got to go to the fringes, which is fine. We've got some angry fringes on the far left, and we do. But they don't run the party. They're not Biden, right? Biden isn't angry, right? If anything, Biden's boring, right? Obama used hope too. I didn't remember. Oh, keep hope alive. You're right. Obama did use hope. Keep hope alive. Yeah. Thank you, Larissa. So it's an interesting contrast because her campaign has been talking a lot about the insurrection. They did it again last night. She talked about it during her address, Kamala Harris's speech at the convention. She talked about Trump and the insurrection, which I thought was very interesting. So they're really trying to hit on that. The best part was Trump, I think it was during Kamala Harris's speech last night, Trump tweeted or put on Truth Social, like his platform. Thank you, Mustard. Thank you, Larissa, again. Trump sent out a social media message during Kamala Harris's speech last night saying, "Where's Hunter?" Sorry. Wait, I got to be careful because I'm going to have to get hairspray on this. I brought hairspray specifically for my wig because, oh, my door's okay. I brought hairspray for the wig because it's going to start going bad. He tweets out, "Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter?" Trump, I mean, guys, he's running against Kamala Harris. Put this up a little. Kamala Harris is doing very well in the polls. Trump has to be very careful here because Harris has surged. I'll tell you right now. Steve Kornacki on MSNBC, who's their pollster guy, he's brilliant, a brilliant political. They should have him on more. They don't. I don't know why. He's brilliant. Kornacki was explaining today the average of polls. And it's basically look at all the polls and average them together to try to get, which is a fairer way of, or a smarter way of looking, because if one poll's a little off, if you look at all the polls, you tend to get a better average, right? Well, Kornacki says before Kamala Harris entered the race a month ago, it was the average of all the polls was 44% Biden, 47% Trump. Now it's 49% Harris, 47% Trump. Trump support has not changed. Harris has gone up on the Democratic side from 44 for Biden to 49 for Harris, up 5 points. Very interesting. Now, both of those are probably within the margin of error. With polls, basically the pollster bakes in the fact that the poll can't be 100% accurate. They don't poll 1 million people. They poll 1,000 people. It's a very sort of detailed process. Thank you, Lesia. And the margin of error is usually 3 or 4 percentage points. So both of those are probably within the margin of error, but it's still very interesting. And we've seen, every single poll we've looked at, Kamala Harris has basically gone from, Biden losing to Trump to Harris being a few points ahead. So, hard to deny that that's going on. Thank you, Lizzie. With that in mind, Trump needs to go after Kamala Harris. A, he needs to present a positive vision for America, and he just can't do it because he's an angry old man. But B, he needs to go after her. And going after Hunter Biden, if anybody doesn't know abroad, is Joe Biden's son. He's a bit of a goof. He's on trial for what is it, guys? A gun charge, like he bought a gun while he was an addict or something, or that's the charge. And, or maybe he was convicted. And maybe taxes too. And the Republicans tried to demonize him for years now to try to hang him around Biden's neck. And it's really sad because Biden's other son died of brain cancer. And you could tell the other son was Biden's boy, right? His first wife and daughter died in a car accident. He's married again. Hunter is all he's got left in terms of kids. And the Republicans just wanted, and the guy's clearly a mess. He's a mess. Thank you, Makab. He was a drug addict. Lots of issues. But Trump has basically tried to demonize the guy, not kid. What is weird to me is Biden is no longer the candidate. Kamala Harris is speaking last night. And rather than Trump putting out some really good zinger about Harris, so that all the articles, thank you, Vicky, so that, he did have a daughter with Jill. Okay. I'm sorry. Another daughter. Sorry. I was wondering, as soon as I said that, Amber, I caught myself and went, was there another kid? I thought there was another kid. Okay, thank you for that, guys. But Kamala Harris is speaking. The polls have shifted wildly in her favor. You need to go and attack Kamala Harris. You don't attack not just Biden. He's attacking Biden's son, right? It's not even Biden he's attacking. Biden's son. Biden's son is not running. Biden is not running. Kamala Harris is running. It's just the man has a lack of discipline. Again, whether it's age, whether it's anger, but I think it's very smart for Kamala Harris's people to basically sort of show a light on the Trump people as just being, and there is a scary anger. The Project 2025, all the abortion stuff. I mean, it's just there's a scary anger for not even weird for me. It's more angry. What's his face? JD Vance. He's just kind of angry. He's like an angry white guy. I just don't. It just kind of creeps me out. I don't like that. I mean, I want somebody serious, but I don't want angry all the time. I have enough anger. Like I have enough anger in myself, right? I don't need like seeing more of it on TV, right? So a few other stories here about the election. Trump is helping raise money for the January 6th insurrectionists. They're holding an event at one of Trump's big golf course. I think Trump's biggest golf course in early September. I've got to pull it up. It's on my phone, which I'm using for you guys at YouTube. They're holding an event. Trump is not holding it. Trump is speaking at it as the invited guest, and Trump is letting them have it at his like prime flagship golf course, his resort. They're raising money for the terrorists who tried to overthrow the government on January 6th. Political commentators have noted and said, is this Bedminster? Okay, it's Bedminster. Is this the smartest thing to do? Like 2 months before the election? I mean, we're heading towards 2 months before the election. And again, guys, I will never remember. Is it November 4th? When is it? When is it? I don't even want to ask SIRI on my iPad because I'm afraid she's going to screw it up. November 5th? Is it 5th? Okay, I thought it was okay, 5th. I don't want to like give election misinformation here. The election's November 5th. Once we get to September 5th, we're 2 months away from the election. It's kind of stupid. I would guess that Trump supporters love the terrorists who try to overthrow our government. Most of them do. Most normal Americans really don't. Democrats certainly don't. And if you want to convince Democrats to vote, hold a fundraiser for a bunch of terrorists who tried to kill the vice president and overthrow our democracy. Great way to rally Democrats. If you want to convince a bunch of voters in the middle who aren't sure which way to vote, hold a fundraiser for a bunch of domestic terrorists. It's our own Guy Fawkes Day. That's exactly. Oh, I see. Well, the election is Guy Fawkes Day, but in a way, this is our own Guy Fawkes. Exactly. Like British history, very interesting, trying to overthrow the government. November 5th. Actually, that's really freaking funny. If November 5th, right. Remember the 5th of November, I think? Yeah. Oh, Guy, I am not going to pretend to understand my British history, but there was a guy who, at least allegedly, I never know if the story is apocryphal or not, who allegedly tried to blow up the British Parliament back in, I don't know, 1605, I don't know, something early 1600s. And his name was Guy Fawkes. And they sort of commemorated every day. Was that close enough? Commemorated every year in the UK. And the funny thing is, which I checked this out once and I don't remember anymore what it was. Thank you, Mikey. I was in London back. It really happened. Okay. I was in London back in, 1983, visiting a friend of mine. I was studying in Paris for the year. She was studying in London for the year. And I was visiting her and came out of the subway. And what was interesting was, or whatever the hell you call it, the tube or whatever it is in London. And a kid came up to me, and I think he might have even, I don't know if he had the mask, but I want to say, I remember him almost having a pauper hat or something and asking for a penny for the guy. And kids would like go and collect pennies. Like, and I don't know whether this was traditionally to raise money for Guy Fawkes' defense or what it was, but it was like penny for the guy. And it was really cute. It was a very fun. Do they still do that over there? Any of you British people? He was executed. Oh, well, I'm not surprised. Thank you, Sarah, for the hat and mustache. But do they still do that over in Great Britain? Do the kids actually do the penny for the guy thing? But also, what was the concept? They do? Okay. What was the concept? Were they raising money for his defense or something? I mean, like, what was the actual thing? I'm sure everybody was executed in the early 1600s. I suspect so. Oh, Terry, after 40 years of education, I tend to know enough that I do check facts. But the thing is, I'm actually pretty damn smart and overeducated. So I'm going to say you're a troll. Oh, damn. I did bring it down. Oh, Bye, Terry. Ah! Bye, Terry. Oh, to buy fireworks. Oh, they use them to buy fireworks. How cute. How cute. And by the way, I also like to crowdsource. I won't tell you guys stuff I don't know, but I do like to ask you questions because I think it's interesting to sort of bring stuff up and have you, because I know you guys will answer it. And I don't want to sort of type on my computer, you know. Oh, Kibo, you're disappearing too. Bye. I'm even going to use one of my few blocks on you. Ah! Well, okay, since the trolls are getting upset, I guess I've got to talk more about Trump. Okay. So so Trump is holding up. Thank you, trolls. Remember, every time the trolls go crazy, it means I'm going to tell you more about what a terrorist sympathizer Trump is. So sorry. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Randy. So thank you, Casso. So Trump is holding a fundraiser is being held at Trump's like premier resort, I think in September, for the terrorists who try to violently overthrow our government. Trump has repeatedly called them hostages because, you know, I'm trying to remember. I did a video actually on TikTok of the number arrested and charged. I think 1,300 or so have been charged. I don't know if it's 350 or so that have been convicted already. Several pled guilty to sedition, which is really crazy. Thundercat, you don't see the trolls because the mods are knocking them out of the ballpark. I also knocked out two myself, actually. Thank you, Carol, for subscribing. Appreciate that. Trump has promised to pardon the terrorists who tried to overthrow our government. So this is pretty sick stuff. Actually, the other thing that really made me sick, that Trump, and this shows you how much he hates America. He has this recording. The terrorists who tried to overthrow our government violently on January 6th did a recording, a song, like a We Are the World, but they did it of the terrorists singing the U.S. national anthem. Because, like, trying to violently overthrow the government, what better could you? It's like having a Guy Fawkes, right? A Guy Fawkes singing of the God Save the King, right? Or Queen, depending who it was back then, maybe the Queen. It's just sick all around. It's just sick all around. I hope the Harris campaign just nails these people to the walls, nails them to the walls. The Republican Party supports terrorists. Okay, good luck in November. You know, you all support a bunch of terrorists. You're not, as I said, they're the party of anger. They're the party of hate. They're un-American. The party of freedom, the party of democracy, the party of patriotism is now the Democratic Party, if anything, by default. You know, I think they did record it in prison. They got on telephones. I remember hearing, and they recorded it. It's sickening. It's just absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. All right, Act Blue, the main Democratic online fundraising platform, announced today that grassroots donors contributed more than $100 million during the Democratic Party convention this week. RFK Jr. dropped. This was pretty funny. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. dropped out of the race today. He was sort of the main third-party candidate who was running. Typically in America, third parties don't do well at the state level or the federal level, generally speaking. Maybe state level a little better. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was running for president. He's the nephew of the U.S. president who was assassinated, John F. Kennedy. Sadly, he's a little kooky. He's a little bit of a woo-woo. He was a very respected guy a couple decades ago. He was a sort of a super-duper environmental activist on behalf of the environment. Really good guy. And then he started to go like crazy. Since then, you guys have all heard about the fact that, like, he admitted that, like, 12 years ago, he had a worm in his brain they found that had, like, eaten through his brain. I mean, really freaky stuff. Then we found out that he, like, did this really creepy thing with a baby bear and dumped its body in the park and got caught, like, now for 10 years ago. Really creepy stuff. His also big thing, which is really creepy to me, is he's a conspiracy theorist. And I'm not a big fan. There's a lot of things I'm not a fan of. Murder would be one of them, but conspiracy theorist is another one. He's an anti-vaxxer, but like crazy anti-vaxxer. He had said last summer, and I've even read you guys and played you the tape before, the script. Last summer during an interview, he said there isn't a single vaccine that has ever been tested and proven to be safe, and there isn't a single vaccine that has ever been proven to be effective. He's crazy, right? I mean, polio comes to mind, right? I mean, the polio vaccine, wildly successful. Well, funny I should mention polio because Robert F. Kennedy's organization he set up to protect children from vaccines, right? It's got some cute name like Children's Environmental something, right? It's actually an anti-vax organization. The organization came out a few months ago and claimed that the polio vaccine doesn't work that polio isn't actually caused by polio. It's caused by toxins in your blood, like some new age thing, right? Toxins, not caused by a polio virus. And the vaccine doesn't work, and people shouldn't be getting it. Certifiably gaga, and not in the lady way. I mean, insane. Well, he drops out of the race today and endorses Donald Trump. But it gets better because, again, the guy's woo-woo, right? Oh, we've got some trolls on Amanda. Are you over on TikTok? We've got some trolls over on YouTube if somebody wants to go over. Otherwise, I can get them. Amanda will be on her way. I can get him, though. It doesn't matter. Either. Well, go check it out if you can. So RF Kennedy Jr. announced that he's leaving the race. Okay. And he go to YouTube. It's on my computer. I mean, well, guys, who's the troll? Just tell me. I can ban him myself. I can do it myself too. Sorry. It's harder for the mods. And the problem is it takes the YouTubers a second. Oh, AKA dog. He's the troll. Did they get him? Yeah. He's a child, actually. Yeah, he's actually a child. Democrats, like crap. Democrats. That was very good for a 12-year-old child's joke. Actually, I think that would be more of an 8-year-old child's joke. You're a Democrat. It's like, okie dokie. Is there another one, or do we get the guy? Yeah, nobody carries cash. That's true. PayPal, Venmo for the guy. Anyway, all right. Oh, the Paula, she looks like she's gone. Yeah. Okay. So Kennedy, but it gets better. It gets better. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., thank you, Spag, endorses Trump, drops out of the race, but says, still vote for me anyway. I mean, thanks again, Spag. He drops out of the race, or suspends his campaign is the way they officially do it. Drops out of the race, endorses Trump, and then says, vote for me anyway. Don't vote for Trump. The reason, and I freaking love this. Okay, Paula, we'll let you stay there. He thinks he could still become president if Harris and Trump don't get enough votes, because there is a possibility that neither of them gets enough. Remember, our election's won by points, and each state has a certain point value. You got to get enough of them. If either one isn't able to win enough votes, he could become president. Guys, I mean, he literally said this today, where I was looking at him going, are you out of your mind? I mean, yes, but so that's the first thing. But then, like I said, I'm endorsing Donald Trump, but don't vote for Donald Trump. Still vote for me, because I'm going to be president when the race is tied. Now, the final point I'm going to tell you is he also put out a new election conspiracy theory that the entire election has been rigged against him. Because you see, I was watching this live today. He actually is winning. Every poll, he said this, all the polls show I'm ahead. I'm beating Trump and Harris, but the evil Democrats won't let me win, and America doesn't have fair elections. Guys, he's at 4% in the polls. Google it. He was at 8% in the polls. Okay. Now he's at 4%. That's why he dropped out, because once Kamala Harris entered the race, he lost literally half of his support. He's crazy. I mean, delusional. I don't know what the word is, but I mean, again, you're ahead in all the polls. No, you're not. He's at 4%. Anyway, just kind of crazy stuff. But I love that. He endorsed Trump. Thank you, Cheryl. He endorsed magic. He endorsed Trump and then told everybody to vote for not to vote for Trump. Yeah, here's the quote. Conceivably, I could still end up in the White House in a contested election. Sure you can, honey. Sure you can. You just keep going. You just keep going. Sorry, the Iranian hacker group. So finally, the Iranian hacker group, accused of targeting both U.S. parties' presidential campaigns earlier this year, also sent WhatsApp messages trying to trick members of the current Biden and former Trump administrations. Just sort of throw that out there. All right, let's move over to Ukraine. Today is day 911 of Vladimir Putin's special 3-day military operation in Ukraine. Keep the gifts coming, guys. We love our subscribers. Member subscribers, tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. That's Chicago time. Or that would be 11:30 a.m. East. Oh, that's fabulous, Grumpy. Oh, my God. There's some Elvis gift. It says Rockstar, but it's clearly Elvis. Oh, my God. Thank you. I've never seen that one before. Thank you. That's a nice one, too, I can tell. Wow. Because also you can tell on TikTok the nicer gifts because they also last. It was Elvis. They last a while. So you can kind of tell. Oh my God! Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Dawn, for the beating heart. Thank you again. That was very cool. And thank you, Bjorn, for the bear, and Timothy Leary for the hearts. So yeah, let's talk about Ukraine. The the Russians. I love this. So we're like day 15 or something of Ukraine having invaded Russia now, because the Russians invaded Ukraine 10 years ago, reinvaded in 2022. Russia's been occupying like 18% of Ukraine, and the Ukrainians finally had it and invaded Russia. Rather than just defending, they invaded Russia. They've taken, I mean, it's a small chunk of land, but it's still significant enough that it's like 94 villages or something, and the Russians are kind of freaking out. The Russians announced today that Vladimir Putin has made a decision, and there will be severe punishment following Ukraine's incursion into Russia, according to Russia's ambassador to the U.S. Guys, it's day 15. I love when politicians do this. Like, is there any better way? Like, what have you been doing the other 14 days? You made a decision on day 15 that there will be severe punishment for Ukraine invading? Shouldn't there? I mean, isn't it a given that there will be severe punishment if Ukraine tries to invade and take, and by the way, is now holding your land? Like, I'd be kind of pissed, frankly, right? Like you waited 2 weeks to decide that you were going to severely, first of all, you waited 2 weeks to make a decision, quote unquote, and your decision is to severely punish the people who invade. I mean, but like, really? Like, it's like someone commits a murder or something, and 16 days later, the prosecutor says, I've made a decision. There will be a severe punishment for murder. You'd be like, well, yeah. It cracks me up though, because he's really, anyway, I almost feel like Zelensky ought to mock him, but maybe not. Thank you, Michael Darling. Michael Darling just gave a gift membership on YouTube that went to Eric Nordstrom. Excellent. Isn't that the guy from True Blood? Wasn't it Eric Nordstrom? It was close to that. What was the last name? Oh no, Nordling. What was the last? His last name, the character. Northman. No, Northman's this movie. Northman's the movie. Is that also the last name of his character? Not Skarsgård. I'm asking. I said the character, Linda. I mean, I appreciate that, but the character. Nordstream. Okay, now you're just having fun. Eric Northman? It was Eric Northman. How funny, because Northman or whatever is that movie he was involved in too, which who knows, maybe he was doing a play on it, which is kind of funny. Anyway, all right, a little more here. Ukraine forces stormed a penal colony in Kursk Oblast. Kursk Oblast is the area that the Ukrainians have been invading. The Ukrainian forces stormed a penal colony, in other words, a prison, where Ukrainian prisoners were held. Human rights activists say the seizure of the penal colony will be an important step in documenting war crimes committed by Russia against prisoners of war. Russia has reportedly reinforced troops in its push for the key Ukrainian strategic hub of Pokrovsk in eastern Donetsk. Let me show you on my map where that is. This is one of the concerns is while Ukraine has sent like 10,000 of its best men to fight in that area in Russia, it means those are 10,000 men that aren't fighting to defend the rest of Ukraine. So, strategic decision. But Pokrovsk is, I'm going to say more or less about here on the map, more or less about here. I was Googling it earlier. So, which is again, sort of the demarcation between Ukraine, all of this is Ukraine, but between Russian occupation and the rest of free Ukraine. So it's right along those lines. Eric Northman. I guess that does make sense. All right, what else we got? India, the Indian premier. What is he? I'm forgetting. He's a prime minister probably in India, right? The Indian Prime Minister Modi arrived in Ukraine today for talks. Thank you for the Meerkat Adventures. He urged Ukraine to sit down and talk to Russia, and he could help. It's like, okay, whatever. Thank you, Adventures. Thank you, Olga. South Africa. So this was kind of dicky, but typical. We've talked about South Africa before. South Africa is basically like a white supremacy enabler state at this point. Kind of sad. And I've always felt this way because I've worked on civil rights for a long time. And I've always held my sort of greatest, obviously bigots get my greatest criticism, but my second greatest criticism are people from other minority groups who are bigots, who are racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever, right? Anti-Semitic. Because I think minorities have a special responsibility to basically not be bigoted towards minorities. It just kind of makes sense. I feel the same way about South Africa. As a country that lived under sort of racist I'll say not a dictatorship, but in terms of the way they were treated, they were, they were treated as second-class citizens. To then turn around and basically be the white man imperialist best friend, which they are to Russia, I think it's kind of sick. And I think it's really inappropriate. It's really inappropriate, but it's also kind of sick coming from a country that's like South Africa. It's a black country. They know better. They shouldn't be helping white people oppress other basically colonial countries that escaped colonies. Ukraine basically is a former colony in essence of Russia in many ways, if you want to sort of define it that way. Part of the Soviet Union, but really the Soviet countries were colonies of Russia. For it to now become basically South Africa is becoming a white supremacist colonial power in many ways. It reminds me of Animal Farm, the book, but also the movie that we watched when we were kids. And at the end, it shows like the farmers like in the back room were like smoking their cigarettes with their hats and stuff, and the farmers all of a sudden turned into pigs. And because the pigs ended up becoming the new oppressors of everybody else, and they've got the top hat and they've got the cigarettes, kind of reminds me of the same thing. Any case, so the South Africa blocked artillery shell delivery to Poland due to fear of them being transferred to Ukraine. Warsaw ordered 50,000 155 millimeter shells, which Ukraine needs badly, by the way, from South African firm, and the South Africans shut it off, fearing the Poles may give it to Ukraine. Really, just sick stuff here. Thank you, Family Lavery, for the gift. See if I missed anybody else here. Thank you, Randy. Please feel free to keep the gifts coming, guys. Norway is going to finance production of a NATO standard artillery shells in Ukraine. Biden spoke to Ukrainian President Zelensky today and announced a new U.S. aid package totaling $125 million. Thank you, Martin. We don't know kind of what it is yet, like what the package is, but there's a new one coming. Reuters confirms what we talked about yesterday, but it's now been confirmed that a ferry loaded with fuel tanks sank in the Russian port of Kavkaz in southern Krasnodar region after a Ukrainian attack. Now, there's a Wagner update. You guys have asked before about Wagner. And hey, user Pelo, I'm gonna call you Pelo because I seem to remember that whole word makes me think of a insult we used in Argentina. If I'm not incorrect, maybe I'm incorrect, but it sure looks familiar. The Wagner groups. Yeah, you guys have asked before. Oh, you're literally Emilio's friend. You're Emilio's friend? Oh, that's funny. It is an Argentine word. We had like chatted. I got to reach out to Emilio again. Emilio is an old friend of mine who's Argentine, wonderful guy. Met him when he was studying at Georgetown. That's really funny. Anyway, good to see you again. I'm not even going to say the word. Well, it's pelotudo, but I vaguely remembered it being an Argentine slur. It's been a while. I haven't like been in Argentina in 35 years, maybe. I've got to go back. Argentina is a wonderful place, by the way. I worked there for a summer and then also went and visited the next year. So the Wagner Group, you guys have asked before. Magical, take a chill pill. You'll be fine. All right. I think you'll be okay. Relax. The Wagner Mercenary Group, you guys ask about them from time to time. They're soldiers for hire, Russian. They tried to overthrow the government, kind of their own January 6th. They didn't really fail. They kind of succeeded a little too well. And Putin kind of freaked out. And not Putin certainly freaked out because they kind of like made it to Moscow. So the Putin got Prigozhin, who was the guy running the Wagner Group. Again, these are Russian mercenaries who were fighting in Ukraine and Africa too, and the Middle East. Got him to back down and promised, I won't come after you and whatever. Well, 2 months later, Putin blew up his plane and killed Prigozhin. So people have been constantly asking sort of any news on them. Well, they pretty much went to mostly work in Africa, again, working as soldiers for hire for the government of Mali and some other countries, maybe Central African Republic, some other countries. And they're down to 5,000 men reportedly. I think this is from the British Ministry of Defense. Yeah, they're down to 5,000 men now. They were at like 50,000 men before. So they've really become sort of nothing compared to what they were. I get it because they did try to overthrow Putin, but they were also some of his best troops. It's like, oh, well. Why NATO doesn't have enough ammunition. So this final story here was from Reuters, which we kind of knew this already, but did a big investigation on why NATO doesn't have enough artillery shells for Ukraine. And basically, NATO knew even before 2014 when Russia invaded Ukrainian Crimea. That's when the war started. NATO knew even before then that we didn't have enough artillery shells. And basically, a lot of the officials just didn't do anything about it. And it's not really clear why they didn't. But they knew that NATO didn't have enough artillery shells and just didn't respond to all the warnings. It's really kind of like scary, frankly. In the U.S., by the way, this would be the Obama administration and the Trump administration and possibly the Biden administration. So you've got Democratic and Republican administrations who ignored this. It's really weird to me. I don't quite get it, to be honest, but oh well. Anyway, guys, all right, let's chat, hang out, our usual. What's going on? Oh, thank you, Family Lavery. This is our part where we can talk about any of these topics or anything else you want. Again, our main topics tend to be the U.S. election and the war in Ukraine, but I'm going to yawn at you again today. What else, guys? What else? Thoughts on Milei? I don't know enough about him. He's the new president of Argentina, but I just don't. I mean, he seems kind of a weirdo, you know? And I do not hate right-wing people. I don't like basically people who hate our country and hate our freedoms. I really don't. I mean, I've always been quite conservative on this point, actually, much more than most Democrats, for example. But I'm a big believer in sort of a lot of the values Republicans used to have. I believe in America. I believe in democracy. I believe in freedom. I believe in the Constitution. But I also believe in the Bill of Rights. So I believe in, civil rights and all of that. And Republicans today, MAGA Republicans, don't love America. They don't love the troops. You may love the troops, but you're voting for a man who hates the troops, and he said it repeatedly, calls them suckers and losers, and you still vote for him. You don't care about faith anymore. You claim to be people of faith, and that's why you vote, and then you vote for a man who's a serial sexual assaulter, serial adulterer. He cheated on his wife with a porn star a few weeks after his son was born, and then paid the porn star $130,000. I mean, you people, is there nothing that you care about? I mean, the people of faith, forget it. Try to violently overthrow the government. Typically, that's something Republicans wouldn't be big fans of. He is trying to basically defund the FBI and the Justice Department. So suddenly you guys have become the far left, right? Thank you, Susan. So the Republicans have become the far left now, where they want to defund all the police because, oh, yes, the Department of Justice is evil. You guys are also trying to defund the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. That's amazing. That's an amazing thing Republicans did. The sort of budget agreement or whatever a few years ago, or not the budget agreement. It might have been the sort of relief bill after Biden came to office, and it provided money to hire new IRS agents because internal IRS is the Internal Revenue Service. It's the agency that deals with taxation at the federal level in America, and they didn't have enough staff. They were behind on everything, and basically lots of rich people, not little people don't get audited. The big rich people are the ones that they say, let us see your taxes. They didn't have enough people to go after them. They're losing tons of money. So Democrats got Republicans to agree finally to hire more of these inspectors to go. And the law even said, I think, that they could only use these inspectors to go after people making more than $400,000 a year. It's a huge amount of money. And Republicans said, oh my God, you're going to go after people making $400,000 a year who are cheating on their taxes? And Republicans defunded it. So, I mean, I have no problem with Republicans, but if you hate America, if you hate the troops, if you hate our allies, if you love our enemies, if you basically get on your knees for Vladimir Putin and Kim in North Korea, which Trump does repeatedly, and you believe Vladimir Putin over our own intelligence agencies, then you're not a good American. I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's my problem. I believe in freedom. I believe in democracy. So, and anybody who cares about this country should have a real problem. And that's why a lot of Republicans have gone public. A lot of big Republicans have gone public and said this. I mean, a lot of big Republicans who don't agree with me on practically anything other than foreign policy, maybe, and probably don't agree with a lot of you on anything. A lot of big Republicans have come forward and said Donald Trump is an existential threat to American democracy, and it does not matter where he stands on any other issue. If you're a Republican, you should be voting for democracy this year and voting for Kamala Harris. That is what they've said. Judge Ludwig, Adam Kinzinger, Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, non-stop. The old world Republicans, who are the people who actually believed in faith and freedom and all the things you guys claimed, now it's a cult. So yeah, I'm going to speak out about it. Absolutely. That's not criticizing Republicans. I'm criticizing cultists and people who don't believe in America and don't like America and like America's enemies. If that's you and you happen to be a Republican, oh well. Yep, the judge too. Yep, I think it was Judge Ludwig. I think was his name. Anyway, what else we got, guys? What else we got? Argentina, WC. I got the concept. I did not go to the Democratic convention. I could have, but I just, I could have looked into it, but I've been to them before and they're huge. They're huge. It's 50,000 people. You could wait in line for an hour and a half to get in every day. I'd have to commute from my parents' house here in the suburbs, like an hour every day. And once you're there, it's so many people. It's fun. It's exciting to be there, but you literally get, as work goes, you get nothing done. I mean, I could go and drink all day. I guess that'd be fun. But to actually get work done, I literally sat at like the CNN grill. CNN set up a little like bar restaurant there during some of the previous ones. And I would sit at the CNN grill all the time and just work and I would get all my news from the TV and sort of blog about it. But I could do that at home, right? So like I could do my video with you guys, but I don't need to be there. I do not live with my parents. My mother died and I'm here to help out. Are you happy now, Miomi? Yeah. Bye. So, yeah, really inappropriate. Do I think uncommitted can sway the election based on numbers? No. No. Ooh, those idiots? No. No. It's far left. That's okay. I didn't mean to get all the sympathy coming in, but that person pissed me off. That was just rude. So anyway, thank you guys. Miomi did step in it. Yes, last Friday. That's the reason I have been not doing as many shows and have not been able to do sort of the private shows with you guys. I've been spending much of my day dealing with her estate, which, oh my God, not fun. Trying to figure out like where all these pensions come from that automatically go into the bank accounts of your parents. Oh my God. It's like, oh, sorry, Element. So yes, much of my day was dealing with that stuff. And then I spent a few hours getting ready for the show. So it's not fun. Yeah. And the house, especially, I mean, it's 50 years of a house going through stuff and trying to like, what do you throw out? What do you save to see if anybody else wants it? It's like, oh, anyway, what do you do? Let's not talk about that, but thank you guys. I appreciate it. What else? Yeah, Department of Education they want to get rid of. This is true. Happier stuff, happier topics. Thank you, Shelby. I did see that, yes. Magical just mentioned, thank you, Dawn. Magical just mentioned the Food and Drug Administration here in America just approved the new COVID vaccine. My thoughts are I'm going to get it. I've gotten all of them. I've gotten absolutely all of them. I also went and got the oh, sorry, Olga. I'm sorry to hear that. I just went, I've gotten all the COVID vaccines. I also got the RSV vaccine because I was at the pharmacy and he said, "Do you want an RSV vaccine?" And I said, "Hell yeah." Well, I asked him, she goes, "Hey, yeah." And I said, my doctor said I wasn't old enough or something. And he said, "I'm younger than you. I got it." And I said, "Okay." I mean, the new one is updated, correct? There's a new updated COVID vaccine for the latest strain or whatever. And honestly, I mean, the thing is, I've never had COVID. So, I've never knowingly had COVID. So anytime I've been sick, I was tested and I tested negative. I'm suspicious one time, like when I was visiting Arizona last year, I got a really bad cold flu thing that was pretty strong. I mean, it was 2 weeks of, like, usually when I get a flu, it's like 3 days, or even a cold, like it's 3 days feeling like it's coming on, 3 days bad, and 3 days healing. This was two weeks of just sick. I got the shingles one as well because I've had shingles. Again, I'm not going to give you medical advice. I had shingles. You do not want shingles. I had a simple case of it. Thank God. I mean, my shingles rash was this big. The problem with shingles you get if you've had chicken pox as a kid. You can get shingles. Thrice. Oh my God, Neil. The problem with shingles is it is nerve pain. I will tell you quite literally, my thing, you get a rash that I was like, what is this rash? Went to the doctor because you got shingles. I was like, get out of here. Because they showed like the commercials on TV for the vaccinations. The problem is the rash, because it's nerve pain. It's not pain of the muscle or something. The nerves are on fire. It felt like a knife was in my back. That's literally what it feels like. It felt like a knife was in my back. And the medicine doesn't help. Like it doesn't. I mean, not medicine. Well, there's two things I should say. If you catch it early enough, you can potentially help alleviate. It can go away more quickly. But in terms of painkillers, the doctor said, I have no painkillers to give you. The stuff I would have to give you, like narcotics, basically, the stuff I would have to give you is so strong that it would knock you out and you would not be happy. And I was like, oh God. But 2 months, and thank God it went away in 2 months. Because the other problem is it may never go away. And also, if it's by your eye, then you can go blind. But, oh, you've got it right now, Gail. I've been a month and a half getting over it. For me, it stuck around 2 months. In the eye, no, that's very scary. Yeah, the eye thing is very dangerous. So anyway, yes, that is my shingles, but the vaccination is hard. Yeah, WC Fields mentions it. I think it was the second shingles vaccine. There's like 2, and the second one put me on my ass like a flu, like a bad flu, but only for 2 days, 2 or 3 days. But it was bad. But it was like a bad flu. But trust me, I had shingles. I'm like, I'm happy to feel like I never want that again. That was 2 months. But literally, I remember asking the doctor and saying, but it's going to go away. He said, maybe. For many people, it goes away, but for some, it doesn't. And I was like, oh my God, the rest of your life having pain in your side. Oh my God. Yeah. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Your stepdad has it going on 2 years. Oh my God. Oh, that's horrible. Wow. 3 shingles vaccines. Well, that's pretty scary. You're going to be, no. I got shingles first. Basically, I wanted to get the vaccine. My doctor said, oh, you're way too young. Don't worry about it. 6 months later, I got shingles. I was pissed. And then asked the doctor a couple of years later, do you still need it if you get shingles? And he said, oh, yeah. And I Googled it. And Google it. Do your own Googling. But when I Googled it, what I found were a lot of suggestions by the doctors saying, even if you have had shingles, it can help to not get them again. So, and maybe, I don't know whether it can lessen the severity too, but the recommendation was to get them anyway. So I was like, yes. So a few weeks, that's good though. 2 days of pain, that's very good. That's very good. Well, I mean, I was too young to get it, but I was barely too young. And I asked him and he was like, literally, but I was like, 6 months later, I was just going, I was just like, you little, again, the monkey on the Simpsons, you know. I was 50. I had turned 50, and I want to say I thought maybe, I don't remember if 50 was on the cusp or maybe 55. But I was just there, and I remember thinking I should ask him. Thank you, Jonathan. For some reason, I was close enough that I thought I should ask, and he's like, So. Gardasil, my cousin's husband, is one of the 3 people who invented Gardasil, by the way. The original, not then they do a new multivalent blah, blah one, but the original Gardasil he created, which is pretty cool. And you will see him mentioned in all the interviews. So it's very kind of neat. There's a connection to COVID waking up shingles. Oh, that's scary. Thank you, Annie, for the dancing. Oh, I've got to move my head on that one for the dancing flower. I do post videos about Ukraine. I do more about the election because, to be honest, up until lately, TikTok was basically paying, because I try to make money here. TikTok was paying for election videos and screwing me on Ukraine videos. I mean, this is the problem when you work on your own. If I do Ukraine videos, it was like zeroing out my account and then making all my videos. They weren't paying me anything. So it's crazy, but they did it again anyway. I had like my best month on TikTok last month, and now they've zeroed it out again because this is what they do. So we're back to literally the only money I make on TikTok now is your guys' gifts. And I was last month like self-sufficient for 1 month, and now it's gone again. This is what they do. And there's no way to figure out. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. But what do you do? No, I got shingles 6 months after wanting to get the vaccine, and my doctor said no. So I got shingles because I didn't get the vaccine. Yep. So quite the opposite. How often? You can Google it. I don't know. You can Google. Shingles might be one of those that's a lifetime thing, I think. I don't remember. Google it and see. I do not trust China either, Misha. You are correct. I didn't call the doctor back because, I mean, he might have been right. He might have been right, though. Thank you, Olga, for the gift. You know, he may have been right. I mean, at my age, maybe statistics said I wasn't at risk for shingles, even though I got it 6 months later. I mean, I'm assuming he was correct, right? But the odds were forever not in my favor that day. So what do you do? Thank you, Timothy, for the eyes. Anyway, we'll go a little bit longer, not too long today. Yes, I did take the drug. I think I was right at the waning end of the 5 days or so. Thank you, Tom, for the gift. Yes, if you've had chickenpox, I don't even know if you're susceptible. Are you susceptible to shingles at all if you don't get chickenpox? Like, do people that have never had chickenpox get shingles? Looks like Deb is saying no. That's what I thought. It's chickenpox that comes back. Okay. Okay, no shingles, no chickenpox. Okay. Yeah, was it Zoroaster virus, some name like that or something? Yep. In her 40s. Wow. Thank you, NAR. Actually, like I said, I was 50 and I got shingles. I mean, I literally was like, I finally went to the doctor. I'm like, why do I have a rash you're kind of scared like it's cancer or something. You're like, a rash you've had for 3 or 4 weeks, right? You're like, and it hurts. You're like, what the hell? You're like thinking skin cancer. It's like, nope, shingles. Like, oh my God. A 14-year-old. Oh, that's interesting. When have they ever had chickenpox? Thank you, Family Lavery. I will tell you, by the way, this is the kind of conversation we typically have on the Saturday show. When we do the show, which we are doing tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Chicago time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's New York or Washington, D.C., where I normally am. We hang out with just the paid subscribers and talk, and it's usually this kind of fun thing. The auctions, I thought I was only coming here for 3 weeks. I didn't bring auction items with me. I almost did and then didn't. And now I'm staying like another 3 weeks. So I should have brought the auction items with me, and I left them in DC. So my shirt is simply a rainbow that says "Be kind." It's my Kamala Harris campaign shirt. No, I'm kidding, but I liked it. I like the color red on me is always nice. I like it, and figured it was a cute shirt. Anyway, being in studies. See, I will not do shots in studies personally. I'd be too afraid. Amsterdam tomorrow. The gutless goose. I love that. Or the boneless goose. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. God, recommendation for Amsterdam? I don't know. Anybody else know? Matt Tostico is asking. I loved Amsterdam. It reminded me a little of Venice. I really liked it. Auction my shirt. I'm not giving it. Well, I could buy another shirt. And although, isn't it a little creepy auctioning a shirt that I've worn? Like, anybody who would like that about the shirt, I'd be a little worried, right? Like, no, we want it dirty. It's like, unless you're paying me $500 for a dirty shirt, then maybe we can talk, right? No, I've been good, Catherine. I'm good. Did I see your comment? No, I didn't. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I know, but there's no choice. I won't cover the Middle East. No, because people are idiots. I will not be covering the Middle East. No. But the election is the big issue right now. Why? Scotland's not cloning people, are they? Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Tari. Oh, NAR. I think I just thanked you because I remember that name. What? Scotland doesn't clone people. They're not doing that yet. I'm not auctioning underwear. No. Sasha is asleep. Oh, right behind me, actually. I can probably, you know what? Because my phone is on a thing, I can probably, yep, there she is, since you asked. She's on the floor behind me, just hanging out. Yep. She often will be let me get this put back. She often is in the bed beneath my little table where I work here. Thank you, Jen Thomas. But she also, some things, my hair product, I know that's the stuff I make myself. I don't even know if that's legal. I mean, it's just beeswax and mineral oil, but I don't know. I don't quite know how that works. You know, John's hair tonic, tonic too. You call it tonic, so like it's like from the 1920s or something, right? Best hair on TikTok, exactly. Thank you, Kofi, for the rose. Thank you, Nicola. Yeah, my bath water. Wasn't there somebody who did something weird like that? Some movie star or something? Remember she was bottling something weird of hers? It was something creepy, I thought. I don't remember. I remember something creepy. They made tonics. They made tonics out of tonics to drink or tonics like hair tonic out of mercury. Well, I was thinking goop. I almost was thinking, but it's not. It's not Gwyneth. I was thinking Gwyneth. Was it saliva? It wasn't Gwyneth. I don't think it was Gwyneth though. Was it? Was it Gwyneth her saliva? It was something else weird. Like I remember bath. I was gonna say bath water. I remember it being something watery or something. Thank you, Sheila or Shelly, for the gift. Bath water. Oh my god, that's so disgusting. So disgusting. Bottled farts. Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh, and then a cold boy. There's an old name. There's an old name you don't hear. Belle Delphine sold bath water. Do people actually buy that crap? I guess as a fetish. I guess, you know, the world's 7 billion people. You got to have a market for fetish stuff somewhere, right? Yes, the candle that smelled. I remember that Gwyneth did that crap. Yeah, that was really weird. That was very weird. I like her, but that was a little weird. She's a lot. I mean, I love her as an actress. I wish she had done more acting. A dirty panty vending machine in Japan. I would not be surprised. Japanese always surprise me because they're very serious, hardworking people who at night become like, blah! You know, they become like British soccer fans. Thank you, Dom. I'm not offering. You know, they drank it. Oh my God. Again, you know, if you're sort of goofy, you know, you'd figure, what the hell? I'll sell it. I'm not going to do it, but you know. Anyway. But yeah, it sucks too because I've got stuff coming from Ukraine that Dutch Cossack has that I told him not to send. I'm gonna have to tell him to wait on that too. Thank you, Skywalker. Victorians ate powdered mummies. Really? That vaguely sounds familiar. Thank you, Layla. That vaguely sounds familiar. What did they think it was, an aphrodisiac, or what did they think it did? Your football fans are pretty bad, yes. Stumpling, that's why I was thinking of that. Mankinis. What's a mankini? I'm afraid of asking. Are they like thongs or whatever we call them? Borat. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. It was something like that. Oh, God. Yeah, I just can't. I mean, I'm American. I can't even wear a Speedo. I do know Borat. Yes. I just can't even wear a Speedo. I'm like, whew. I'm too self-conscious. And I mean, actually, my biggest problem is I don't feel I have the body for it. Like, I just would be like, you know, I would want to be like the French. Of course, the French don't mind wearing it because they're beanpoles. You know, they're like this. Yes. Well, thank you, Raven. We're never going to find out. I mean, I'm sure like in France, everyone's wearing them, so nobody notices, but it's still like, I just feel like swimsuits like that should only be worn by hot guys or, well, women with a bikini, same idea, you know? But has North Korea sent troops to Russia? Has that been confirmed? Snowblade? I did not see that confirmed. Oh, we did discuss Ukraine. We're now having the free-for-all. We discussed Ukraine for like 20, 25 minutes. The become a subscriber banner is cut off on the left, is it? Well, let's do that then. All right, how's that? Thank you for mentioning that. I don't think there was any, I don't think there was, I was going to say, I don't think anything with North Korea had been confirmed yet. I don't think so. Mummy paint? That's gross. Yeah, Olga, let me see. I've got because the thing is, I don't want a ton of stuff here, but at the same time, now that I'm here like 5 or 6 weeks, you know, it wouldn't have been bad to be auctioning stuff because it's just, you know, more money for Ukraine and more money for me, you know, for my bills. So it's not a bad thing. Yeah, no response from the Russians on being invaded, other than, well, Putin said today that he's made a decision and he's going to strike back very hard. And it was like 15 days in, you made a decision. Captain Janeway murdered Tuviks. Oh, I was thinking Tuvok. That's right, Tuviks. That's a different question. handmade Ukrainian things. Where did you get them from, Poppy? But that may not be a bad idea while I'm here, at least. Actually, I may even, I don't know if I want Dutch Cossack. He's got like 3 boxes. I don't think I want them coming here because then I have to send them myself back to DC, but maybe I will, because I wouldn't mind having some auction items. Oh, you made them? Oh, that's fun. Oh, yeah, sure. That sounds fun. Misha's oldest son is 13 and playing his first season of American soccer. That's funny. That's cute. I mean, the war, going on 3 years of war, what are your thoughts? It's 2.5 years. I've been worried for a while now. Look, I was worried for a while now that the war would become a stalemate, and I am worried now that the war has become a stalemate, right? Because the U.S. and the Europeans were not giving Ukraine enough to win. We wanted to give Ukraine just enough to defend itself, but not enough to anger the Russians. And that meant we were prolonging the war and giving Russia time to dig in and defend itself. And that's what Russia's doing now. Russia has dug in so much, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to be dislodged. So I'm really worried about what's going to happen. News of Ukraine going to Russia. Oh yeah, that's been going on for 15 days now. It's great. It's a small portion of land they've got, but it's still pretty great. By the way, I've been reading analyses of military experts saying, Putin's just biding his time. He's going to fight in eastern Ukraine, and eventually later on he'll fight to get the land back in Russia. I'm not sure that makes the most sense. Like, are Russians going to sit there and be content that the Ukrainians have stolen their land? How can Putin sit there for 6 months or 9 months or a year with Ukraine just like owning part of Russia? Isn't that weird? So I don't know. I find it's very strange. So I'm not sure that's Putin's best idea, to be honest. But, anyway, I hear you, dog. What are you doing? I took Sasha out right before the show, so she may have to go out, but she may also be begging because now that she's at mom's, which we've confirmed, I think I've confirmed entirely now. Now that I'm with mom's with my dog, the dog is all day long begging for food and hitting her bowl like I'm starving her to death. She doesn't do it in DC, does it here in Chicago. Because clearly, as I suspected, in Chicago, she knows she gets slipped food all day. Yeah. So she's hitting her bowl going, "Where's my treats?" I'm like, no way. I'm convinced my mom gave her food. Mom's dog died last summer. User 829. Kukla died. Yeah. Sadly, a year ago. So, yeah. Kukla we were going, the neighbor had said she wanted Kukla if my mom ever died, or had to get rid of her, going to a nursing home or something. And Kukla just died on her own a year ago, which was very sad. She was a dumb dog, but she was a very sweet dog. She had a lot of spunk. I hear you. Hi. I know. Now the dog's getting pissed because she's saying, "You're supposed to be giving me treats." Like I brush her teeth at this hour and then give her a treat afterwards. So she's a little pissed. Do I like Chicago Bears? Sure. I don't really pay attention to Chicago. I'm not a sports guy anyway. I was a Bears fan growing up, of course. Blackhawks, Cubs, not Sox. Sox are fine, but I was a Cubs fan. But I don't really follow it anymore. Yeah, pick the onions off the pizza. Yeah, I hate onions on pizza. But good point. We think the onions might be what killed Kukla, to be honest. My mods are good. I know. Somebody asked me the other day, like, what does a moderator do for you? And I'm like, get rid of all the crazy people so that the conversation is like mellow and normal and, Montreal, the Montréal Canadien. Anyway, let's go, mods. I am good. Thank you, Theo. Other than I got bitten by like a mite or something in my sister's garden. Oh my God. She warned me. She goes, "You're walking around my yard. You're going to find a bite on your body. 24 hours later, it's going to hurt like hell." I got this welt on my chest. Like, what the hell? Ashley, what are these things? I've not had these things in DC. They're like, it's horrific. It looks like a spider bit me or something. Oh my God. Cicada mites, but you don't see them. It clearly got on my shirt and bit. Mr. Wheezy, I speak I'd say 5 languages, although my Greek isn't. I was fluent in. They were all fluent at one point. My Greek is not as fluent. My Italian is okay. Spanish and French are fluent. and English, of course. Cicada egg eating mites. Okay, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. But yeah, it's like a big well. It started itching yesterday, and I was a little suspicious, and then today it was like nasty. And I've been putting cortisone on it, useless. Like it works for an hour, and then blah. Yeah, nasty. My sister warned. She goes, "You're going to get bites." I said, "What are you talking about?" That was or 2 days ago, and I was like, It's horrible. They're like, there was no obvious bite. There was no obvious, literally, it was just itching. And I was like, that's kind of weird. What did it, why is it itching? Ugh. Anyway, it itches. It's painfully itching. Un excellent présentateur. Merci bien, Ariel. Mais tu es français, je crois. Ou française, je dois dire. Mais merci. Bicarbonate of soda made to a paste, except that I don't want to get it. It's on my here. Like I don't want to get it on my shirt. Oh, that sounds horrible. But I wouldn't mind something. Maybe I'll wear a white shirt. I could wear a white T-shirt over it. Bicarbonate of soda made to a paste. I'll try it. Because yeah, it goes away. I could put a little bit on before the show. It went away for an hour and 15 minutes, and now it's back. It's like, I think I've gotten it before when I was out here, actually. Just never go outside. Exactly. A cold compress. I know, calamine, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I can change. I'll change to a T-shirt, and I can try at least the. We don't have calamine. That's the pink liquid. Yep. 17-year cicadas. Interesting. Well, I mean, and you still hear them out here. Actually, you don't hear cicadas in DC this year. We did not get them. Or if we got them, they didn't happen in DC proper. But coming here, I was like, oh wow, you could still, you hear the whatever it is. But yeah, I'm going to take the dog for maybe go around the block if I can get her to do it before. Although I would say before it gets dark, except that out here it's safe after it gets dark. I'm used to being in Washington where there's no way in hell I would walk the dog after dark. And I hate it, but that's the way it is. And here I always sort of forget I don't have to rush out and walk the dog before dark. Alexandria, you can see, I don't hear them in DC. But you know what? Previous years, I remember this. People saying I'm in DC proper. But I remember people out in Virginia telling me in previous years, like, oh yeah, you could, like they were driving out to Virginia, you could hear them and everything. But here, no. But the suburbs, you hear them quite a lot. Ever think of moving out of DC? About every day. Yeah. I'd love to move out of DC. I got to figure out where to move though. DC has never been a safe town, Alec. It's never been a safe place. I would not go. Yeah, I'm not comfortable. Like just walking around my neighborhood at night. No. Baking soda and an aspirin paste. I don't know. Mom maybe has got maybe she's got the baby. I don't know if she carries aspirin anymore. Like who has aspirin other than the baby aspirin? You know what I mean? Actually, I bought aspirin as one of those. Now I'm already forgetting. I was going to say, which is it for? A heart attack? It's not for a stroke. If it's a stroke, an aspirin, I think, will kill you, right? Are aspirins for heart attacks, I think? Like I keep one in my, except that, of course, in the middle of a heart attack, I'm going, wait, is it for stroke or heart attack? Like, let me tweet about it and ask while you're dying on the floor, Right, because it's a blood thinner. You don't want it for a stroke. That's what I was thinking. Right. Well, the low-dose aspirin is the preventative. Aspirin is the, oh my God, I'm dying of a heart attack. But correct. DC has a mayor, no governor. It is not a state. It's sort of an independent city. It's a little weird. We have no representation in Congress at all, really. We have a representative in the House that doesn't have a lot of power, and we have no senator at all. It's kind of shitty. It literally is like no representation. It's kind of bad. I assumed it was 5 of the little ones. Yeah, because the little ones are they 60? I'm trying to remember. I remember being, or are they less than that? Or are they 20? No, they're 60 probably, right? The little ones. I would not move into Mom's house because it's too expensive. And I mean, are they 81? Okay. I don't know. First of all, I couldn't afford to buy the house because my siblings and I inherited it together. I can't afford to buy it. And I mean, who's around here anymore? Like I had read an article. I was telling you guys this years ago. Somebody wrote an interesting opinion piece for the New York Times where this woman bought their family home. Their mother died. they bought the family home, and then dad, I think, moved to an apartment or something. And the father would come over and be like, "Oh, you changed the mantle piece or whatever. Your mother designed that." And everything in the house he noticed she changed was stuff that the mother did. And why didn't you like what your mother did? She said that, along with everything in the house, reminded her of her dead mother, which wasn't as happy, right? I mean, like, that's a little creepy. Like, even right now, the house is empty. It's a little creepy right now. Like, I always love coming home. It's creepy today a little. I mean, when people are here, it feels better. Today feels a little creepy, to be honest. So you got that. The other thing is, your neighborhood, everyone's gone. No one's here anymore. I mean, we still call the houses by the names of the people who owned them in the 1970s, right? But I mean, I know one set of neighbors. I know another one. That's about it. So, like, I just think it's weird, but I think, like, if you try to move back home and you haven't been there for a long time, I don't think it's coming home. I think it's coming to a very empty place, because no one's in the house anymore except you. The neighbors are no longer the neighbors you knew, right? So it's not your town anymore in kind of a way, right? Anyway, it was a very interesting article. She wrote it and said, she was a writer, and just said, I really thought it was going to be the most exciting thing, buying my mom's house, and I'll raise my kids there. And she said it was just very sad. Now, I think, like, maybe mom was 94, maybe in families where you pass the house to the next generation, maybe, like, because if you were living on a farm or something, right? It literally is the ancestral home. So maybe, like for me, I haven't lived here in decades, right? Maybe if I stayed next door, it wouldn't be as weird because it's still my neighborhood, right? So I wonder if that could. I hear you, dog. I know. Okay. You know, maybe that could make it better. Any case, yeah, it's just kind of it was a very interesting article, but I thought about that, like, an interesting idea of buying your parents' home, but nobody else is here, you know? Yep, nephew is going to rent a place downtown probably eventually. Anyway, well, exactly. If the parents are bad parents, then the memories, you do not want to be reminded of them either, of course, obviously. I know Sasha's begging as grieving. That's pretty much it. She's like, why is that woman not here giving me fattening things all day long, secretly? Literally. She'd come to the table. We'd have dinner together with my mom, and Sasha would literally come and, like, jump on my mom's leg and look at her. And I'm like, okay, you are so busted. Like, she doesn't do that to me at the dining room table because she knows, you know? It's so funny. Yeah. So funny. All right, guys, I'm going to go. It's 6:20. We've been doing this for an hour and 20 minutes. As I said, my voice has been a little raspy this week, but it's doing okay. Let's meet again tomorrow morning for the paid subscribers. I will be doing my weekly show for all of you guys. Anybody whose name is green on TikTok, on YouTube, or on TikTok, you got a little SNN next to your name. You see folks like Mel and Ash and Maddie and Nathan. Join me tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Chicago time. That's Central Time. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That's Washington, D.C. or New York City time. If you're used to the show, generally it's an hour. It's half an hour later, because that makes it a little easier being in Chicago. Okay, we're gonna go out. We are. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Otherwise, join me again Monday night. And who knows? Maybe I'll pop in this weekend and do another show. I don't know. Sunday, we'll see. I will try. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, mods. Thank you for the gifts. And we'll see you guys all again, like I said, tomorrow morning, and then Monday. And on YouTube, I've already set it up. TikTok, I think it's weird. I could schedule it, but I don't think TikTok, I can't. I don't think I can schedule private shows. Whereas YouTube, it's already scheduled, so you'll see it there. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you all. All right, you all.